on here, guys, okay? We're getting right into politics. But this is all good vibes. None of it's going to give you anxiety politics-wise. It's just one question. So it says, I know you've talked briefly about you and Tony having a difference in political opinions. How do you navigate that? Can definitely relate. So, I have talked previously about, that me and Tony had differing political opinions, okay? Now, I want to not speak too much for Tony, right? So I want to just be careful of how I phrase things. Realistically, at this moment in time, well, first off, Tony is someone that is all pro women's rights, pro-choice, all of that stuff, okay? So, like, from a moral standpoint, we are both aligned when it comes to, like, religion, that both of us are just not religious people, whatsoever, and, don't want to raise our children within any specific religion. Tony is more, I would say, like, apolitical, and to be honest, it basically, like, my family, like, I grew up like a Democrat, very, like, liberal family. Tony's family and neighborhood and every single person that's ever been around him was Republican, and so, of course, people's upbringing influences their beliefs, and then kind of as you settle into adulthood, you kind of pick what, your family cherry pick, maybe things you agree with, and then, learn new things, and you grow and change your opinion, as we all should. So, I think that Tony's views have definitely shifted over time, and he is more, like, apolitical and, like, skeptical of the government in general than, like, tied to any one party. And so we're able, like, he is not someone that is super politically charged, and brings politics up to try to, like, I don't know, troll or fight or whatever. And I know at the end of the day that his perspectives on certain things have shifted and grown based on conversations that we've had. And, I have perspectives, like, I'm not the most, like, I always kind of saw myself as, like, a middle ground Democrat, because I really look at things from, like, I think there's just so much nuance, and things are not black and white. And, like, as I get older, you can see, and, like, as I'm a marketer, right, I can see all of these political campaigns, like, they appeal to, like, the masses and people that don't do critical thinking and like, have nuanced thinking, and they're very, like, that's what they do. They try to divide us, and it's, like, black and white and whatever. So it's not really like that in life. And what Tony stands for is aligned with what I stand for. So he's not ever voted for Donald Trump, and that is important to me because like I said, I don't feel that I'm the most insanely liberal person that's ever walked this earth, but I'm definitely a Democrat, and I am definitely very anti-Donald Trump specifically, based on his incompetence and just general immaturity, divisiveness, like, with the country, things like that. So, hope that answers that. Okay. How do you maintain your long-term relationship / marriage being fulfilled and satisfied? Advice on that realm of things. So, honestly, I get asked this a lot, and I feel like I never have a perfect response for it. Me and Tony have been together for 16 years. We've grown up like are each other's comfort and feel like that homey feeling of just that like really deeper kind of love. And of course we like ebb and flow as far as how connected we are physically, or our communication, and like just how connected we're feeling, like any relationship. But I think what's important is we're just not like fake about it. Like we could be more polite to each other. We should work on that. But we're not like polite to each other. We're not afraid to tell each other if we're upset. So like there's never like awkward tension or anything uncomfortable. Like it's out in the open, and like if we need space from each other, like we will take it. I have very much my own life, he has his own life, and then we have our life together. I think not putting all your eggs in one basket with your husband is so important and actually strengthens your relationship, because like you want like to have somewhere to turn when like your husband is pissing you off and you want your husband to have someone to turn to, so that he doesn't have to be up your ass 24/7. So like it's just kind of organically ebbs and flows, just like any relationship, really, right? We don't feel like, there's times of course where we're both like, oh my god, I can't stand you, like leave, get away. I'm planning my new life in my head that I'm gonna go move to Manhattan and like start anew. I'm sure he does the same, that he's gonna go move to the Poconos and whatever, but like we know that like we're not doing that. And like if we ever wanted to, we would. I don't know, it just kind of, I feel like I'm not giving the best answer, but it just kind of works because there's not like a little worm in my gut that says like you should not be with this person, you know what I mean? Okay, do you see yourself staying in Philly forever or any other place? Also summer or winter person? Summer person through and through. I hate the winter. I like fall for 5 minutes, but then it just keeps getting colder and I hate that. I love to be warm. It's my favorite thing. Yes, I do see myself staying in Philly forever. This is where my family and friends are, and I think they're gonna be settled down here as well. I love Philly as a city. Like I said, if I was to ever, if tomorrow Tony was to leave me and like go marry a new wife and I was like stuck and like starting over, I would potentially move to New York City and just be, forever a wandering, like, artistic, Sex in the City vibe, like, but I like Philly. I think it's a good mix. It's not too crazy, too expensive. My family's here, so I envision staying in Philly. Also, guys, my face is like peeling from my tretinoin, and I hope I don't look like Tony's like, it looks like you have dried milk all over your face. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm peeling, and now it's like the weather's getting drier, so it's like extra peely. So if I look crazy. Okay. What were the pre-marriage talks like for you and Tony? How did you both know you were ready? How did Tony choose how he was going to propose? Fun. So pre-marriage talks, we obviously were together for years. We've been together for 16 years. So we never started seriously talking about marriage until probably I was like maybe halfway into being 26 is maybe when I like sort of brought it up. I never had a desire to get married too young. I cannot relate to that. I really can't. Who cares, guys? I get it. I can say that because I have a husband, I've had a husband, whatever, but I'm not saying if you're single, I'm saying if you have a boyfriend, and it's one thing if he is dragging his feet for years and he can afford the ring that you want, there's no other circumstances, and he's just like not committing, that's a problem. But you don't need to like push your husband or push your men to propose. And like I think we all end up doing that like a little bit. We're so excited, we're waiting for it to happen, and then like you can end up, you know, ruining the surprise for yourself. So like just, it's fine, you know, like you do not need to be married at 24 years old. Like live your life, and if you're with a man that you love and you know you're gonna be together forever, then like you're gonna be together forever. Like it's okay. So I never cared to get married early. I knew we were gonna be together forever, and I did not, and I wanted to do it when he could afford the type of ring that I wanted, that we could afford a wedding that we wanted. And for us, that was not until we were like pretty decently settled into this house. We first moved in together in 2018 on my 25th birthday. Didn't really care or talk about it at that point. When we moved into this house and settled in here, it felt a little bit more grown up versus our shoebox apartment, you know, that was 450 square feet. Like, you know, this one has multiple, like a third bedroom if we want to have kids. And, you know, when we want to have kids, I do want to have kids if we have kids. And, you know, more space and things. And, you know, we moved in here in July of 2020. I turned 26, I guess, in that year, I believe. And then, or 27. I don't know, however old I was in late 2020, early, or I guess, yeah, around 2020 is around when it happened. And then he proposed in September of 2021 on my 28th birthday. It was like a couple days before my 28th birthday, so I was 27. So I started to bring it up and just said, like, it just was kind of similar to other things in our relationship. I was like, hey, just a reminder, like, becoming engaged exists. I know we've been together for 1,000 years, so we're not thinking about it, but like, I'd like to get married and like do that. And it was never like, oh, are we gonna, aren't we gonna? It was just like, oh, all right, like, good to know. And he probably started saving at that point. I think he like went and looked a couple times and like shopped around and got pricing and things, but like months in advance too. Like I had gone to a jeweler and like mapped out what I wanted in a ring. So like I knew it was coming at some point, but he is very private, very secretive. Like he's good at that. Like with me, if I buy you a birthday present, I'm like, I got you a birthday present, you wouldn't know what it is. Like I just couldn't sit on that secret. But so yeah, the pre-talks were not anything, like, it wasn't very formal, like how he decided we're ready. Like we always knew we were just gonna be together. And I was like, I would like to have a pretty ring and a wedding, like let's do that. He didn't care that much about it. Like he didn't have any urgency around it, because, and I wouldn't expect him to, just knowing his personality. So I don't know, it just, I don't know, kind of anticlimactic. What is your ideal morning/night routine? Love it. Okay, morning routine. If we're talking a work, let's talk a work day versus a weekend day. Work day, I like to get up. Normally I can pretty much get up without an alarm and wake up at like, 7:30, between 7 and 8. And if I'm being, good, I might get up and exercise before work, or like do some stuff before work, tidy up the house, whatever. Just, if I'm not getting out of bed at 8:55, like that's a win, because when I do that I feel like I'm like discombobulated. And I don't know, my day doesn't like start out great, but I get up, maybe work out, do some stuff around the house. I do not get ready for work. I wear, like, this is what I wore to work today, unless I have something like important, like a meeting or something. I brush my teeth. I don't even wash my face in the mornings. I don't eat breakfast. I drink my water. I make my bed. I open the shades. I tidy up the house a little bit, maybe throw a little laundry YouTube or, you know, my website or something like that, and just really like hang out and chill. And then when I'm done everything I have to do, I will get in bed, watch TV, scroll, and just be completely aloof for the rest of the day. Like, I don't scroll during the day. I don't scroll social media between the hours of like 9 to 7 p.m. And I just save it all for night, and I just release everything from my mind, and I'm just like da 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 da. Weekend, morning and night routines are always different, honestly. So I guess there's no routine on the weekend. It depends on the plans that I have. Usually I, you know, sleep in. I mean, the same as sleep in. I don't know. I might still get up at 8. And I have to do whatever plans. I might, like, I will base things around my plans. So, like, if I have to be ready by 3 o'clock for something, I'll, like, get up and do my YouTube stuff, like, early, do some editing, maybe do some schoolwork, like, you know, nighttime routine. You know, I'm either partying, watching TV, or that's it. Okay. There's 51 questions. I've gotten through like 4 in 21 minutes. Alright. Any advice for women who are almost 30 and still haven't met the one? What should we do to meet men? So yeah, I mean, I have girlfriends that are over 30 and don't have, you know, haven't met the one. And it sucks because I hate that so many women, like, put so much of their happiness and things on this, but I get it. Like, we're in such a weird time between, like, 27 to, like, honestly, like, 40, because everyone these days, like, back in our parents' day, like, people had kids when they were 25, and, like, that was it, and, like, you know, women didn't work, and they all just, like, made pot roast together and, like, raised their kids. And now everyone does things completely differently because women are empowered. They have the choice. They have their own careers. Some people decide they don't want kids, things like that. So, like, some people get a husband, get married, have kids really early, and I know a big group of people that did that. They were all married by the time they were like 28 or 27, even had kids by 29, and I was like, whoa. And when you're seeing that, it's easy to be like, should I be doing, like, I got married, I got engaged at 28, we'll say, married at 29, and I'm 32, and I am still childless and don't have kids. Yeah, duh, Julia, that's the same thing. But I have friends, like, that are, you know, single and, you know, live on their own. I have friends that are just have their first, like, real boyfriend, or, you know, for the first time in a while, that maybe might be the one, but they don't live together or anything. And then I have friends that are engaged and living together, friends that just got married, like, just, there's, like, a huge spectrum. My advice is just to try to, like, decentralize men from your happiness if you can. I know that my best friend is single, and it definitely affects her, and I wish that I could do or say more so that it wouldn't affect her. I think it's a little more for her because she has a twin sister who is engaged, and they've always kind of been, like, on the same path, and she feels like a little behind. So I think that is, like, an extra layer of difficulty for her personally. But I think, honestly, decentralize men from, like, the happiness point. Like, make sure that you're doing all the things on your own without them. And then, ladies, line them up like it's a job. I know the dating apps suck. I've never used them. I get it. I can't, like, I'm sorry. I know. But this is how we meet people, right? Like, still try to meet people in person, of course, but go on the dating sites, swipe through, set up 1 to 2 dates a week with different guys, and run through it like a numbers game. Have 3 men on the roster at once that you're dating, so that you can know, like, okay, you can compare them, and it's like, all right, this one is, like, last in the list, boot him off the list, add a new guy into the roster. When you feel feel like you've stayed with the one guy, and that's gonna start to be, that is how you find your man. I swear, my sister did this. This is like how she dated, and she'd like have the therapist one week and the doctor and the business guy and then this, and she would just date all these guys, have fun in the process. I know it's exhausting. It doesn't have to be 2 a week. It can be 1. It can be 1 every other week. It can be 1 a month. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not 1 a month. That might take you a while if you really are wanting this. But 30, don't let society like put 30 in your mind as this like, where you have to start, you know, using a walker and popping out babies. Like, goodbye. I can't stand society's timeline being thrust onto young women, but it's not on men, right? How come men have no urgency, like, and don't care? Because they know they'll just find a woman and they'll just take whatever, you know, when they're 30, 35, 38, 42, like. So that's what I would do to meet men. Get in front of them, go out, do stuff with your friends, go up and talk to guys. If you need liquid courage, then like get some, like have some drinks, go talk to men. You know what I mean? I know I'm simplifying it, but why not start to simplify it in your head? Like, don't make it this beast. You know what I mean? Men are idiots. They're very simple-minded creatures. They love women. Don't be afraid of them. Okay. What is your current diet and exercise? I saw on Instagram you did a race/marathon. Oh my god. What is your running routine? Love you. I did not do a marathon. I could never. I did a ovarian cancer 5K, which is 3 miles. So very light work. And I was, you know, huffing and puffing the entire time. My diet and exercise routine right now, I am for the most part in maintenance. I lost like 10 pounds. I honestly probably like closer to like 12, 13 right at before my wedding. Then I kind of like evened out, like gained back, you know, like 3 of those pounds, and that's what I've been able to like maintain for the past 2 years. For me, I was never like overweight or anything, so losing those 10-12 pounds brought me to exactly where I wanted to be. So I've been actually very comfortable with my size and look for the past 2 years, and I realized that like I had always been trying to lose like the same 10 pounds, but I was never willing to actually give up the things I needed to give up in order to do that. Like, I thought that being perfect Monday through Friday, but then completely not thinking about anything to do with food Saturday and Sunday was like fine, but I could just never, I would maybe lose like 1 pound, gain it, I lose 1 pound, gain it, you know what I mean? So I really had to lock in before the wedding for like a couple months, and just, you know, cut out like things, like switch out beer and wine for vodka, or, you know, track calories a little bit more digitally, when ordering fast food, instead of getting a Big Mac, a cheeseburger, a nuggets, just 10 nuggets and a cheeseburger, like, you know what I mean? So I did that. I locked in, I lost the weight I wanted to lose, and now I really just I have a balance, and I'm always aware of what I'm eating and like the general caloric like really discomfortability, you know what I mean, than just going like so overboard with it because I was so restrictive. Because I think sometimes people get in these patterns where they restrict to punish themselves, or they restrict over exercise to punish themselves for being bad, and then that's not sustainable. So they're over exercising, so they're even more hungry than they normally would be, and they're restricting even more, so they're craving stuff even more, and then they binge and do it again. So like that's definitely like the pattern that even Tony's in right now, because Tony is trying to lose some of the weight that he put on after our wedding, and I see like the patterns of it, of like my same patterns that I used to do. So I'm a little bit more like, it's good, it's okay, like slow and steady wins the race. And if I kind of get off track a little bit, it's off track by a pound or two, and I just kind of reset myself for the week and the next 2 weeks and lose those 1 or 2, and I'm right back at it, and go out on a Saturday night and eat, you know, the dinner that I was gonna eat. But in general, I lessen. I've just cut some things. Like I really won't do more than like 2 glasses of wine. I would switch to vodka water club. I won't do beer, a bunch of beer. Like I would just do like one or two, and then switch to liquor. I won't drink a bunch of White Claws, things like that. Things where I was really just like pounding the calories into my body. And exercise, as long as I move and have some sort of movement, I'm happy. Like I don't go crazy with my exercising, because honestly, I have found for me, over exercising makes me more hungry, and then it's like impossible to not like eat horribly. Do you know what I mean? So if I get moving, you know, between a walk or exercise or whatever, I mean, I'm always moving on the weekend because I'm like dancing and stuff, but I don't know, like I might do like 3 walks a week and like a run, an exercise, like a class. Like I just switch it up. I try to be active most days, but not like a full official workout most days. It would just be like some movement. It could be like a walk for 45 minutes or something, or you know, I could walk on my little treadmill in front of the TV. So I have a pretty good balance going on. I'm pretty proud of what I've been able to, the place I've been able to get to. So yeah, I did not run a marathon, but love you. How did you deal with uncertainty while being unemployed? And what did you do to stay positive and occupied? I'm gonna have to do this in like 3 parts, because how I dealt with uncertainty while being unemployed. Background, if you didn't know, I got laid off twice. Once in 2023 for a month. Insane that it was only for a month. And then once in 2024 for 6 lovely months. How did I deal with uncertainty? It was fucking hard. I honestly really, I mean, the first time I got laid off, I think that the universe just like threw me a bone, because I found a job within a month. And like at that time too, Tony was not working consistently. He used to be a union carpenter, and like he wasn't getting hours, just because the industry has like changed. And if you have a husband or something, you know about the industry of construction. Like sometimes there's work, sometimes there's not, and there just like wasn't work. So while he wasn't fired or laid off, he just like wasn't working a lot and wasn't bringing in income. So thank God I had found a job. We were fresh out of our wedding, so we had some money that we were, you know, from our wedding gift, but I really didn't want to like use that on like life. So the first time, you know, I was just able to like find a job in a month, and I didn't have time to become too devastated. The second time was fucking hard because it was for 6 months. My saving grace was that Tony by this point had a new job, thank God, where he was bringing in a consistent paycheck without consistent, but not enough to where like I didn't need to work. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we are, you know, it's not a situation where like one of us is like takes care of the other or whatever. Like, so it's not like I could kind of sit back and just say, oh, my income is like fun coins, you know. So, but he was getting now consistently paid, which thank God, because he wasn't for like the last 2 years. And that was really hard. Even when I did have a job, that was extremely tough. But I just like, I don't know. I just thank God that it was through summer. Like I got laid off. It was like April 1st or something. And then, you know, through the summer. And then I started my job in mid-October. So I was like, part of me was like, fuck it. Like it's summer, you know, I'm gonna have fun and like enjoy myself. I of course had my income from social media, thank God, to have something, and I was receiving unemployment from my job. Still way less than what I had with my job, right? My salary. So I couldn't do anything crazy, but like we were not at risk of like going on the streets. Although the day I started, like the week I started my job that I have now, I had like 1 more week of unemployment before it was going to run out, because you only get it for a certain amount of time. There's only a certain amount of dollars in the pot, which I believe is like 15 grand or something like that. So it was just tough because I would have these interviews and I would get to like the 4th round and they'd be like, oh, you're really great. There was just one other candidate that was like more competitive. I'm like, oh my God. It's freaking hard, especially in today's climate with remote roles, because these companies have so many more other options than they previously did with remote work. So I mean, it was tough, and I just couldn't make any like grand plans because, you know, we didn't know when I was gonna have a paycheck again. To stay positive and occupied, I spent more time, you know, with friends and like allowed myself to do things I wouldn't normally do, like be a little bit more spontaneous, because I didn't have to, you know, like go to the shore on a weekend and like see my friends, or, you know, I went to New York with my friend one weekend. Like, I mean, this is like friends that have properties in these places that I was able to stay at with them, so it's not like I like was having to pay for vacations, but like I just tried to do fun things. I tried to lean really into you know, YouTube and TikTok and stuff. You guys were really supportive, and a ton of you guys joined my website to really help like offset, because that's the bulk of the money that I make through social media is my website, like by far. I really like rarely get sponsorships these days. I don't think I've had like one in this calendar year. So yeah, it was really hard, and I cried a lot and was upset, but I always try to stay positive because I am confident in my abilities, my ability to interview, my ability to like do a really good job, my just drive when it comes to career. So I just had to like hang in there, but there was of course days where I felt like I was going fucking crazy. So you're not alone if you are indeed laid off. Have you started your master's? Yes. I remember when you mentioned that you were going back to school. If so, how is it going so far? I did. I started my master's. I am attending Boston University's online MBA program. It is a part-time, flexible program for working adults. So it's set up in a way that it's doable for those people that have, you know, a job and kids and things like that. It's going well. I talk about this on my website and like my audios and stuff, but I'm just really proud of myself because, speaking of being laid off, like a lot of the roles that I was looking into, and my goal is eventually to work for the pharma company I work right now. I've worked for agencies, for publishers and stuff in healthcare, years ago, like, would you ever go back to school? I would be like, absolutely not. But I just kind of felt like that itch, and just kind of, it started to build. A curiosity turned to decision, turned to application, turned to getting accepted, turned to starting the program. So like, here I am, almost halfway right through my first semester. It ends like December 13th or whatever, started it in August. And it's definitely doable. Like, oh, excuse me, I'm like burping. It's definitely doable. The work drops every Friday, the independent work and like the assignments for the week. And and like you have like a few days to do some of it and like a week to do the rest of it. I do it all pretty quickly. I try to just sit down and dedicate a few hours to it. When it drops, like Friday evening, I'm gonna do it. Today is Friday as I'm filming this. I'm gonna do it right after this. And so yeah, there's group work, which is a little annoying, but I have a good group, so it's fine. That's just like a part of any MBA. And yeah, I'm, I don't know, it doesn't feel real that I'm in this program, and I'm really proud of myself that I'm actually doing it, and I'm sure I'll like cry when I graduate, because it's just like, I don't know, both my parents have master's degrees, actually from Ivy League universities, which makes me so proud of them. So my sister better catch up, okay, because she's gonna be the only one without a master's. Okay, how do I say no to coworkers who want to add me on social media? I want to keep my social media and my work life separate, especially since I heard one of the ladies in accounting try to call out another girl for taking too much sick time off, but is always on vacation and going to concerts, according to Instagram. Oh god, so annoying. Totally. Honestly, you just have to find your one-liner and get comfortable saying that to people. Or you can just say, like, I don't use social media, and leave it at that. Like, if they say why, you can just be like, I don't know, I'm just not that into it. And just be confident. Don't make it a thing of like, I don't want to tell you. Like, or like ask ChatGPT, I don't know, like a way to be like, it's my Instagram's like private, or I don't know what's like a like weird, awkward way to say it. Like, I don't know, I don't really, you can make a joke about it. You can be like, yeah, like, oh gosh, yeah, I keep that separate from work or whatever. I don't know. I would just be like, yeah, I don't really use it. I don't really use social media. That's what I would say. You don't have to make a whole thing about it and be like, I'm not comfortable sharing. Like, just don't give it to people. Keep your shit private so they can't find it. And if they like find you and request you, just ignore it. Don't decline the request. Just leave it sitting there. If they ask you about it, just say, oh, I didn't even notice. I don't even really use social media, and leave it at that. And then just never approve the request. That's what I would do. Okay, what is the best advice you can give to someone in their early, mid, and late 20s? Sincerely lost. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a bit of a loaded question, because advice about what? I mean, my advice for like just anybody in their 20s, or just like anybody in general, is like, I don't know. It's hard for me to answer this because I want to know more about what you're asking. Advice about what? I mean, in your early 20s, like, it's like, you want to say that cliche thing of like, just have fun and like do whatever you're learning, da da da. But when you're actually, it's easy to say that as somebody that's 32 and not 21, because when you're 21, a younger person to you is like 16, 18, and you're like, oh, well, they can just have fun and do it. I have just graduated college. I have to be serious and figure out, like, and then a 40-year-old might tell me, being 32, oh my god, yeah, just have fun, do whatever. Like, so I think just in general, my advice for people, I think in the realm of what you're probably asking, is to balance being carefree with being responsible, buttoned up, and planned. Honestly, that is like my advice throughout life, is balance. Okay, that applies to everyone. Like, you should be making sure that you are prioritizing time with friends, because it's so important to have friends, good friendships in your life, to laugh, to make memories, to be goofy, to be crazy. But you should also make sure that you're seeing your family too, because you're getting older now. You realize, like, old people die one day. Our parents are gonna die, right? We should see them, you know, and we're not 17 anymore to where we're like, Mom, I don't want to be near you. Like, you know, hang out with your parents, and that's important. And spend money, because it doesn't follow you when you die. And things like travel are important. And like, if you have a big bag of money just sitting in your house alone, that doesn't mean anything. But you should also be saving money, because it's important to save, and don't be an idiot. And you're gonna maybe start to have to pay back your student loans soon, and you know, you're gonna want to eventually buy a house, and it takes years to save for that for most people. So it's really about looking at things from a holistic way, and like balancing and not taking yourself too seriously, but not being, you know, just aloof and just not giving a fuck about anything. Oh my god, my camera is giving me the temperature thing. It means I've been going too long, and it's gonna turn off on me. Okay, I'm gonna stop here then, I guess, and I'm gonna have to do the next one. I might have to do this in 3 parts. Let me know if you, maybe I'll do a part 2 here, and then the part 3 on my website. Let me know, like, what you guys want me to do. If you really like these, I think I could easily do 3 parts to this, so let me know if you want me to do 2nd part here, 3rd part of my website. I love you guys so much. I love your questions. I hope that I answered them in a way that was fulfilling and satisfactory. Thinking about that question of me and Tony's marriage, but I love you guys so much. Hope you have a beautiful